A good leader is the leader who follows the followers. ये स्टेटमेंट आप सुनने के बाद में आपके माइंड में कौन से लीडर की इमेज आपके माइंड में आती है? Yes, recently we know that the new chief minister of Tamil Nadu has been continuously in news. आपने बहुत सारे वीडियोस में आपको उनको सुना होगा. Yes, this particular topic was asked in today's essay paper in UPSC examination. In this particular video, we are going to have a brief discussion about all 8 topics and how to approach towards them. And I am going to give you at the end 10 themes based on last 13 years of UPSC essay paper topics analysis. And you can see that all these 8 topics are aligned to those themes also, and a broad framework how to approach to the topic when it comes to from, we can say that, these themes. So try to have this session. It will be a 45 minutes or 1 hour session. You can watch this particular session till the end and have we can say that unique approach, effective approach to answer, we can say that essay paper, which is 250 marks, one complete separate paper for your UPSC examination. Now, a good leader is the leader which follows the followers. Now, traditionally, the leadership is basically considered as the concept that the leader basically leads and the followers follows. This has been a kind of one-way unidirectional relationship between a leader and the followers. But is it really the effective leadership? Is it really, we can say that, yields the results of, we can say that kind of leadership actions? Whether it will be called as ethical leadership or responsible leadership? No. We have to understand that a good leadership, a responsible and ethical leadership is that kind of leadership which basically is a bidirectional leadership between leader and the followers, we can say that. That means the leader which actually listens to what followers are saying. What are their demands? What are the problems faced by them? The good leader listens to them and responds to those problems and their demands. And we can say that result into actual leadership, and whatever the actions will be taken by that leader, their decisions will be more effective because the followers will try to follow it, implement it, and that's why we can say it will overall result into good governance. A good leader, not just powerful or popular, it combines vision, empathy, integrity and competence and accountability, ethical and responsible and people centric. So it is a good leader. 3 important, we can say that, keywords in that topic. Follows does not mean blind obedience. So here it does not mean simply whatever the popular sentiment is that their good leader is following that. It does not mean like that. Rather, here we have to understand that it means the leader is listening to followers, understand them, learns from them because they are knowledge, consults with them and responds and empowers, we can say that, them, and stays connected with the ground realities. So we can say that the traditional leadership concept talks about the top-down approach. The leader will tell and followers will listen and follow. But the good leadership concept is, we can say that, bottom-up approach, we can say that, and the followers, they are not considered as a passive subjects, rather they themselves have knowledge, experience, aspirations, and they can give feedback and local wisdom also, and they are the partners in the journey, we can say that, of governance. This is the way Thalapathy Vijay, what he has said is, I never wanted people to blindly follow me. I just wanted to understand them and stand with them and walk with them. Leadership is about humility and not hierarchy. So exactly this statement is talking about what he is trying to say. You can give other examples from the past also. Great leaders are those leaders which listens to the people, their followers, their problems, what they are facing, and we can say that they are actually having the local wisdom. So the leader can understand from the local wisdom of the people itself what is the solution to the problem. And this is the way we have to deal with this particular topic asked in the second section of your essay paper this morning that UPSC had asked. Okay, look at the topics. First of all, I will tell you which topics have been asked, and then we can discuss all these topics one by one briefly. So you can see section A and section B, we have to attempt one essay from section A out of 4 topics, and out of these 4 we can say section B. Now you can tell me in the comment box, yes, simultaneously, as it is live session. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Also, I want all of you to go through these topics and tell me which one is you are finding it easier one to attempt, which choice that you can have out of these four and these four, and why. You can tell me the reasons also simultaneously, and simultaneously we will discuss all these topics. Okay, so in section 1 you can see that all these topics are more of a philosophical nature, and by and large since last 3-4 years UPSC has been moving towards all the philosophical topics. Many of them are also abstract in nature, so that's why we have been telling in the classroom to students that you should have technique develop, writing skill develop for your philosophical topics. Yes, so oxymorons reflect the ironies of life. Also, uniqueness of this year's topic is that unless and until you learn that let's say understand the meaning of that topic in Hindi, you will not be able to address it properly. तो हिंदी में भी आपको पढ़ना है वो टॉपिक ठीक से समझने के लिए, because if you don't know the exact meaning of oxymorons, then it will be problem. Virodhabas, oxymorons, virodhabas. I am going to go in detail about all these topics also. I am just talking about it reflects the ironies. विडंबनाओं को दर्शाता है, जीवन की विडंबनाओं को दर्शाता है. So we see that in our life, all surrounding to our life from childhood itself, we have seen the kind of oxymorons or virodhabas. ठीक है, यहाँ पे ये दिख रहा है तो वहाँ पे वो दिख रहा है. Basically, these are the ironies. It is saying that the life is like that. Ironies means okay, virodhabas, विडंबनाओं को दर्शाता है. Then a grateful mind is very beautiful. एक कृतज्ञ, grateful means कृतज्ञ, मन अति सुंदर होता है. You can see that more abstract nature of essay they are asking. And you have to write 1200 words on this topic. A thorn is a change bud. ठीक है, मतलब क्या है, कांटा कली का बदला हुआ रूप है. Yes, again we can say a kind of metaphorical language used here, a poetic language used here, and we can relate to so many things. We can say that in our society. Okay, we'll talk about this topic also. When two elephants fight, it is the grass that get trampled. जब दो हाथी लड़ते हैं तब घास ही रौंदी जाती है. So many things we can relate here, especially related to, we can say at international level, whatever the problems happening in the major countries, major superpowers, when they are fighting, it is the developing and underdeveloped countries, poor countries who are facing problem. We'll see about that particular topic also. What do you think among these four, which topic you would have chosen? Tell me in the comment box. Yes, it is online session, so I want some interaction from all of you. Okay, you can tell me why you are choosing a particular topic from section A. Okay, then section B, you can see that nature is the symbol of spirit. Last year also, similar question they asked about forest. Forest precedes the civilization and the deserts later on, we can say that. Okay, so this is the way, first topic, that in section B itself, they had asked similar kind of topic. Nature is the symbol of spirit. So you have to link here the nature or whatever we see in the environment, somehow all these processes or those events, they are reflecting into human spirit also. In our social life, we can say that. Okay, so we'll talk about this topic also. Then a well-educated mind will always have more questions than answers. Again, somehow ethics, morality, decision making, that kind of things have come into the picture. A well-educated mind, again Greek philosophers will talk about that. An unexamined mind is life is not worth living, Socrates. So those people will talk about seeking knowledge is the ultimate truth, we can say that. Ultimate we can say happiness in the human life will always have more questions than answers. That means we can say it is the curious mind that we should have. Again, we will talk in detail. Shelving hard decisions is the least ethical course. कठोर निर्णयों को टालना सबसे कम नैतिक मार्ग है. If you try to avoid the difficult paths, then in life you will not fail and you will not learn from that failure and you will not improve in your life. That's why it is talking shelving hard decision is least ethical course. Okay, you have to take decisions in the challenging situations. You have to overcome them. You will fail once, twice, thrice, many a times, but you should learn and fail better next time. Yes, a good leader is the one who follows the follower. Now, the first topic we have already discussed. Let's talk about one by one all these topics. First of all, oxymorons reflect the ironies of life. Instead of directly going into the, we can say, discussion, let me also tell you that what UPSC is demanding from this essay paper. Okay, look at this. What UPSC demands in essay paper, exactly in the notification, what is the text that UPSC has mentioned? 4 things you have to remember. Very, very important. Candidates may be required to write essay on multiple topics. They will be expected to keep closely to the subject. First, it is about relevance. So that means whatever you write, all those 1000 words, 1200 words should be very relevant to the topic, the core meaning of that topic. If you start writing anything that is less relevant or irrelevant to the topic and its meaning, then you are deviating from the topic and it is not going to fetch you marks. Then arrange their ideas in orderly fashion. Orderly means here logical flow and structuring, we can say that, clear structure. So this is also, we can say, important aspect of essay. If there is no logical flow, first you are writing about geographical, cultural, and then again we can talk about political, and then you are writing historical. So this is not logical flow, we can say that, and it creates some kind of, we can say, dissonance in the mind of reader. अरे ये बीच में कहाँ से आ गया ये point, ठीक है, ये तो पहले होना चाहिए था. Then it is not a logical flow, we can say that. In orderly fashion, we can say ideas are not arranged or put. So coherence in the paragraph and within the paragraphs. So paragraphs should be connected to each other, right? Connecting words are very important to ensure flow in the writing aspect. Again, it is a linguistic aspect, we can say that. And write concisely. So this is, we can say, the third aspect. This is first, this is second aspect, and this is third. Concisely means what? Yes, economy of words. So same thing you can write a one paragraph, same thing you can write in a one line also. How you are, writing all that idea in a concise manner. This is, we can say, checked here. Expressing more in less. Avoid verbose expression, repetition, and unnecessary explanations. So you need not to explain one small example into one paragraph. We see that students are elaborating the paragraphs and references into one large paragraphs. It is not important. This is not expected. And then we can say fourth, effective and exact expression. It is talking about clear, simple, and precise language. It is not talking about using hi-fi English words. ठीक है? So ये expected नहीं है आप में से. Expression should be impactful and to the point. Impactful and to the point. It is not about beating around the bush. Okay, so you will not get marks if you are not able to express it to the point, we can say exact expression. These four things you have to remember. This is what UPSC is asking. It is written in the notification itself, and that's why you should ensure in both essays all these four things. Okay, now I will give you a brief idea about, let's say, all these topics. Oxymorons reflect the ironies of life. So let's talk about that. Oxymorons, you see that all over the, let's say, in our surrounding, we see oxymorons everywhere. Virodhabhas jisko hum bolte hain. If you talk about the failure and success, unless and until you fail and learn from it, you will not get success. If you talk about the problems we are facing in the life, unless and until you do not face the problem, you will not become strong, right? We see that in our, let's say, surrounding, there are different kinds of, let's say, environmental problems. But what we are having is, we are having economic growth and development that is resulting into prosperity. But it is also resulting into some problems. Climate change, global warming, disasters, and it is resulting into environmental destruction and some problems to some people. So that means prosperity at one hand, other hand we can see destruction is also happening. It basically, it shows that in nature, in our surrounding, basically all these are the oxymorons, and it is natural part of, we can say, life. That's what it is saying. Okay, so oxymorons words का meaning बहुत ही अच्छे से समझना है, and you have to link that to various aspects, we can say that, of our human life. When we talk about the freedom, on one hand, we talk about the responsibility on the other hand. When we talk about the freedom on one hand, that means reasonable restrictions should be also there so that other people are also able to enjoy that freedom. That means Virodhabhas. Okay, oxymorons. So we have to also understand that all aspects of human life, including societal life. Okay, if we want some kind of, let's say, order in the society, we should be enjoying our rights with some kind of duties. Again, rights are also there, duties we have to follow. If you want to enjoy rights, you have to also ensure certain kinds of duties. This is the way we should talk about this particular topic. But in the end, we have to also bring the synthesis aspect, right? The common, let's say, standard aspect that we should follow in any type of essay is that we can say first you provide the synthesis in the, thesis in the body part, then antithesis, and then synthesis, right? So yes, of course, the antithesis is also there. We can say that many a times what happens in our life is, we can say that it is unpredictable. Many a times we see that whatever our surroundings are there, it is because of human action itself. Then why don't we improve the human action? Okay, so if we improve the human actions, we may not have to face the hurdles or problems, the corruption issue in the governance, or misadministration, misutilization of public funds. It is a man-made problem. Environmental, let's say, concerns that we are facing, it is a man-made problem. So we can have the sustainable development. Now move towards the synthesis, solution orientation. So that means sustainable development is, we can say that, balancing both development as well as environment protection. This is the way we should talk. And yes, of course, now you have understood how to relate to, we can say that, different aspect for this particular topic. I think so it is clear. If you have any doubt, you can ask in the comment box. Okay. I'm not going in detail about what should be introduction and conclusion and all these things about this particular topics. There will be separate sessions and you will be provided the model answers also at Legacy IAS Academy website. ठीक है, तो आपको वो follow करते रहना है. Right now, the grateful mind is very beautiful mind. Yes, grateful मतलब क्या है? कृतज्ञ. Now, when we are talking about grateful mind, mind is not only about, we can say that, mind is not only about intelligence. Mind is not only about knowledge. Mind is not only about data and facts, or it is not only about, we can say that, the superficial aspects. Rather, mind is, we can say, is also about having, we can say that, wisdom. The more knowledge that we have, the mind, more humility in our personality, humbleness should come. You can give examples of Gautam Buddha, example of APJ Abdul Kalam. So the more, let's say, knowledgeable people, they are more humble. Nelson Mandela, you can give example. Wisdom. So mind is, we can say that, grateful mind. Grateful, we know the grateful meaning, or we can say that gratitude that we have. So thankfulness towards whatever we have in our life. And we can say that this kind of feeling will ultimately provide to the happiness. That is, we can say that, long-term happiness. Now relate to what we are witnessing at present in the society. We are moving towards materialistic things and consumeristic things, and we can say commodification of the things. So it is resulting into mind getting consumed towards that materialistic world. And now we are not being grateful. There is a rat race in terms of that superficial success. If today I am earning 10 lakh rupees per year, then I am having that aspirations in my mind that next year it should be 20, then 30, 40. The other people are earning more. My friends are earning more. There is pressure from the family and all these things. This is the way it results into corruption also in the government services. So that's why we should understand a grateful mind is a beautiful mind, because the grateful mind will be humble, humility. And that grateful mind, their actions, their thoughts, and their words will be respectful towards the other people. They will be more empathetic. They will be more compassionate towards the people, especially weaker sections of society. And therefore, their actions will be ethical. Their decisions will be ethical. And this is the way we have to, break down this meaning of this particular topic, decoding that particular topic. I think so now it is very clear to you, and we can say that there is no antithesis for this. Rather, you should talk about how we can cultivate the grateful mind. Okay, from the childhood itself, there should be certain values that families, parents, we can say that teachers, they should be giving to the children, so that the grateful, or we can say that the feeling of gratitude, which is one, we can say, human values, it should be given to the children. And that then we can say that through process of socialization, ultimately the children get all these values, and that development of grateful mind will be there. So once the child is grown up, then we can say it is very difficult to change the mindset of the person. That's why from the childhood itself, these kinds of, let's say, values should be promoted, inculcated. In ethics paper, you learn about role of parents, teachers, and great leaders and personalities. Now the third topic, thorn is a change bird. Very interesting, I'm telling you. You can directly start with, we can say that you can simply directly start with the recent protests, NEET student protest. Okay, student protest में क्या हुआ? Students protest NEET paper leak. Okay, so what happened there? Students, they are soft, they are birds, they are flowers, right? Their minds is very clean, without any kind of, let's say, wrong imprints and everything. They are studying properly and all these things. Suddenly there is NEET paper leak news and their lives are changed. They are turned like 360-degree. They are facing lot of problems. Their parents facing lot of problems. So more than 13 students, they did the suicide. Now you can imagine the kind of anger, the kind of, we can say, anguish their mind is having. And that's why they started asking question. Okay, up till now they were soft, they were doing their work, they were studying, they were, following the rules of the system. They were not asking the question. They felt that, and they agreed that government is doing whatever doing, it is based on merit, equality, there is no biasness, and justice is being done. Now suddenly you come across this news that paper is leaked and there will be re-NEET examination. Then there is thoughts in the mind that what is the guarantee that last year the paper was not leaked? What is the guarantee that before that the paper was not leaked, or for any other examination the paper is not leaked? Now this is creating problem in the mind of the children, or especially the students. That's why they started asking questions. That's why they started protesting. This is the way bird is basically turned into the protester, thorn for the government. Now the protesters were thorn for the government. That's why on 20th of July you can see that Delhi police use the forces, lathi charge and all these things. Thorn hai isliye to kiya na. Thorn for what? Law and order. They felt that it is threat to security, law and order. So lathi charge kar diya. You can understand that. Okay? From the government perspective, it is a thorn. Now they were bird. Now why they are changed? Now you relate that to all the problems that we are facing. You talk about insurgency. You talk about Naxalism. You talk about militancy in Jammu and Kashmir. All these problems, you can see here the youth who are getting recruited in terrorism. Fourth problem, terrorism. All these are recruited. Initially they were birds, right? They were flowers. They were innocent. And they are made thorn now. Why they are made thorn? Because they have faced some kind of unequal treatment, discrimination. They have been denied equal opportunities at some point of time. They have seen that their parents have faced violence. In their surrounding near and dear ones, they have faced violence, their discrimination, exploitation, rich-poor divide, inequality. And that's why over the period of time, they have been converted into thorn. Now they have been, let's say, extreme in their actions. They have become thorn for, we can say that, for the government, for the law enforcement agencies and overall security of the country. This is the way we should talk about that. And then you relate Mahatma Gandhi. We can talk about our Buddha, that violence is not solution to the violence, but it is only the love that is solution. It is the eternal rule. This is the way Buddha will say. Or Mahatma Gandhi will say that an eye for eye is, let's say, going to make the whole world blind. This is the way you should talk about problems. And then you can talk about the solutions and all these things. I think so it is very clear, and I would have surely written this kind of essay which can be linked to so many things actually, and so many philosophers and quotes can be given. When two elephants fight, it is the grass that gets trampled. Okay, now when we are talking about two elephants, you can relate to anything now here. Okay, you can relate to at, we can say that, individual level, or you can talk about at family level, society level, and national and international level. I will tell you good example. At family level, what happens? Okay, family level, let's say parents are fighting. Okay, so if parents are fighting, who are going to face problem? Children. क्योंकि 2 दिन बाद तो पेरेंट्स तो पहले जैसे ही होंगे ना, उनके तो रिलेशन में प्रॉब्लम्स. ठीक है, आते जाते रहते हैं, उनको पता है वो फाइट करते हैं. देन वी कैन से दैट who is going to get impacted? The mind of children from childhood itself. If the children are having that imprint that husband wife are not having good relation, mother and father, emotionally very difficult phase for children, and it is going to create problem in overall socialization. The child will try to isolate, child will have emotional problems, anxiety, and it is not going to express those emotions, will be introvert person when the grown up, and then it is not going to have the good relations, social relations, family level example. We can say that it is the grass which is trampled. We can say that when two elephants, you can talk about the society. Okay, society, two large communities, we can say that, or two, we can say that, major communities, they are fighting with each other. What will happen? We can say that, or let's say there is some kind of problem between two let's say landlords, two landlords in a village. ठीक है, तो प्रॉब्लम किसको होगा? प्रॉब्लम तो पुअर लैंडलेस लेबर को होगा ना, because these people will try to create problem for these laborers in a village. I'm giving small example. Same is with, you can say, communal conflicts that are going on, or let's say two politicians are fighting, their followers are fighting with each other. Let's say different kinds of propaganda is followed by the different politicians, and who is going to face the problem? It is the common man. Okay, so it is the common man who is going to face the problem. उनका business पे impact गिरेगा, उनके income पे impact गिरेगा. This is going to be, we can say that, exact meaning of that. Then at national and international level, we can talk about at international level. If we are talking about, let's say, international level, you can talk about is US Russia conflict is there, or we can talk about is US China conflict is there. ठीक है, तो whatever, like Russia Ukraine war is going on, Ukraine को US support कर रहा है. Ultimately two big elephants are fighting here, and who face the problem? Ukraine Russia war. Developing countries like India or other countries, wheat supply नहीं मिला UAE और उन countries को, Gulf countries को, they are facing problem of hunger. So this is the then fertilizer import from Ukraine Russia in India, it stopped. Prices of fertilizer increased in India, तो farmers को problem हुआ, right? Overall food security concern create हुआ India में, right? Who are getting trampled? Developing countries, underdeveloped countries, poor people, right? Then you can talk about US China trade wars. They are fighting with each other in terms of economic sanctions and all these things. Who are facing problems like India, countries like India? Why? किसका साइड ले भाई? अगर हम यूएस का साइड लेते हैं तो चाइना हमें कुछ चीजें नहीं देगा या हमें प्रॉब्लम्स क्रिएट करेगा, पाकिस्तान को सपोर्ट करेगा. Who are facing problem? It is the grass. Simply we can say that as an example you can talk about. Recent war you can talk about is, let's say, Israel and Iran war, or US Iran war that is going on. Now they may be, let's say, large in terms of having their economic power and some kind of, we can say, oil reserves and all these things. But their fight, it is resulting in problem for our oil imports, crude oil and natural gas imports from those Gulf countries. Strait of Hormuz was choked. You can see that the problem कौन face कर रहा है. Then we can talk about is that race in last century, and we can say that 20th and 19th century for economic growth. All these countries were fighting with each other in terms of who can grow faster. अब उसमें उन्होंने कुछ नहीं सोचा, किसला? Natural resources का. They used like anything, coal burning and all these things. Now who are facing the problem? Because of that, climate change and global warming happened. Now who are facing the problem? It is basically the small island nations. They are facing the problem. Least developed countries, developing countries like India, they are facing the problems in terms of climate refugees, extreme, let's say, weather events and disasters that are happening. Sea level rise will submerge all these island nations in, we can say, Indian Ocean and Pacific Ocean. देखिए आप ही को समझ में आ रहा है मैं कहाँ लिंक कर रहा हूँ, how I am linking all these, let's say, things. Okay, so you can try to relate historical examples, you can give political example, even for corporates you can give. Best example I will tell you. Who are fighting in terms of, we can say, that corporate giants, Amazon and Flipkart. They are fighting with each other. They are creating duopoly, or we can say that is creating problem for whom? Small businesses. It is creating problem for small businesses or common people who are the consumers. They are going to face problem. This is the way you can link to all, we can say that various aspects of human life, and we can say economic life for this particular topic. Now nature is the symbol of the spirit. Very interesting topic, converging environment, and we can say that, okay, nature and spirit. Okay, so here when we talk about this topic, here metaphorically, it is analogical, you can use whatever the let's say nature and nature processes that we see in the nature. Basically it is reflecting human spirit, we can say that. When we say spirit, it is human spirit. Human spirit can be reflected in different aspects, like it is community spirit is there, social aspect is there, or we can say that nation spirit is there, right? Nation spirit. You can talk about is creative spirit. Okay, creative spirit, or competitive spirit. Competitive spirit. Okay, I will talk about now how nature is, we can say that, reflecting this. Okay, so human spirit, you can talk about is simply, we can say, start with the introduction like river. Okay, so river from the origin, it faces lot of problems, lot of obstructions. You can see an example of antecedent rivers like Indus river, Satluj river is there, Brahmaputra. So it faced lot of obstructions like Himalayan let's say hills and hill ranges. Still they cut through it, found the path, and then it continued to flow. Human spirit will also tell that in human life you will face so many problems, and still you will try to find the solution and overcome those problems, overcome those hurdles, and try to be successful in the life. This is the human spirit. Then you can talk about is, we can say, community spirit. You can talk about the cooperation that we see in the environment. Okay, so cooperation, symbiotic life. Okay, coral reefs, or we can talk about lichens, or any kind of symbiotic relation that we have. So it is a cooperation. You can talk about honeybees, how honeybees are cooperating and coordinating with other honeybees, telling them that where the nectar is available from this particular distance. There was question in prelims examination about waggle dance. So they are telling through dancing that the nectar is available at particular distance. Let's all go together and bring that nectar and have the honey. Okay, this is the way they are working. You can take the example of ants, how the close coordination of all these ants together working, they are together, and huge tasks they are performing. Small ants are, carrying all that large let's say food that they want to have as a community spirit. So human community spirit also, whenever there is disaster, emergency like situation, all people forget their differences and they come together and try to deal and overcome with that problem. This is the way we should talk about community spirit. Same is with nation spirit. So you can talk about like example of India Pakistan match. You can talk about, let's say, war like situation is there. So nation spirit, all, let's say, like India is, let's say, having lot of diversity in terms of religion, caste, or language, racial diversity, regional diversity. Still, whenever there is emergency like situation, war like situations, or India Pakistan match, simply we can say nation, we let's say unite as a nation. Then we can talk about creative spirit. So as in the nature itself, you can see that lot of, we can say that, colorful aspect, aesthetic aspect of nature. So whenever we visit a nature, जैसे भी कोई mountain पे जाता है तो इतने bright and vibrant colors we see. You can see the creators, whenever they want to create anything like painting, or they want to write, the writers, poet, they want to write something, they will be always in the company of nature. Then they automatically, creative spirit is, we can say, boosted. This is the way nature is reflected. Competitive spirit, so competition among the animals, like predators, like leopard and, we can say that, tiger. So there is a competition for same prey base. Competitive spirit is also, we can say, very important for creativity, innovation. This is the way you can link to what we have, LPG era, liberalization, privatization, globalization, open competition among the private sector. This led to innovation. This led to decline in the prices of commodities and services. This is the way we grow in last 20-30 years, and we are now the fastest growing economy in the world. This is the way you should talk about how nature is reflected. Now, whether nature is having everything good? No. The nature is also scary. The nature is also having disasters or environmental hazards. Earthquake is there, cyclone is there, or we can say tsunami is there. Naturally हो रहा है, इसमें कोई human का role नहीं है. That means it is not always the human spirit. Rather, human spirit is always positive. नेचर्स फ्यूरी जिसको हम बोलते हैं, निगेटिव भी तो है, बट ह्यूमन स्पिरिट इज ऑलवेज पॉजिटिव, एंड दैट्स व्हाई वी कैन से ह्यूमन एज अ रेस हैज सर्वाइव्ड एंड ओवरकम इवन नेचर्स फ्यूरी. This is the way synthesis or the end we can make for this particular topic. Now, the next topic that we will discuss is very interesting. A well-educated mind will always have more questions than answers. Okay, so we are talking here about well-educated mind. A well-educated mind is, we can say that, knowledgeable mind. With knowledge comes wisdom, we can say that. With knowledge comes wisdom. And wisdom, we can say that, you try to link to Socrates and Aristotle. What these people talked about is intellectual happiness, eudaimonia. Okay, so what they are talking here, they are talking about seeking more and more knowledge in the life. And there is unique kind of consciousness in the human. Once we start having more and more knowledge or seeking that knowledge, automatically there is consciousness that how little knowledge we are having in our life. Then automatically curiosity increases for gaining more knowledge. This is basically ultimate basis of human life, chief good in human life, we can say, achieving that wisdom. So essence of this topic is this one only. You try to relate with, we can say, whatever the creative solutions that civil servants are coming with, the problems that our society is facing. Or we can talk about is scientists. Okay, we have reached to moon, Chandrayaan mission you can talk about is, let's say, Mars mission we can talk about. This is the way a well-educated mind. Now talk about the problem with not well-educated mind. ठीक है, अब वो क्या होता है, देखिए आप प्लेटो का रेफरेंस देके बता सकते हैं that the wise person talks because he has something to say, but a fool will speak because he has to say something. This is the way Plato will say that those people who have half knowledge or lack of knowledge, they are the fools, and they will be having, let's say, shallow personality. ठीक है, shallow personality उनकी होती है, and that's why they are not curious, rather they are egoistic. They are not humble, they are egoistic, are self-oriented, self-centered, and that's why they will not grow in the life as a person. They will not be happy intellectually, and that's why they will be always concerned about self-image and all these things whenever they are, in the room with 4 people, 5 people, other people. So they will be always concerned about how I can protect my image, how I can feel them better about me, and all these things. Okay, so this is the way we should talk about and go on explaining. We can say whatever we can link here. Again, we can say writing 1000 words for this, it requires a lot of practice related to this particular theme. Shelving hard decision is the least ethical course. We can say that. Now, hard decisions are very important. Every person faces hard decisions, or we can say challenging situations. Okay, challenging situations. You can link to normal life as well as life of civil servants. So hard decisions, if we are taking it, okay, if we are taking it, we will either fail or get successful. If we are getting successful, it is good thing. If we are failing, we should be learning from them, and we should be growing as a person, and then we can say that automatically next attempt or later on we will get the success in life. This is the process, this is the journey that every human being, if that person wants to grow in the life and really become the successful through the problems, overcoming problems, then we can say this should be process. If we are, skipping it, avoiding it, hard decisions, then you will not be growing as a person. Okay, as a person, you will not be wise person. You will not be wise person. This person who learns from mistake and grows and improves his own conduct and character, that is moving towards wisdom. That person is moving towards wisdom. Ultimately, the quote is related to wisdom. Earlier topic is also related to knowledge and wisdom. This is the way they keep on asking 1 or 2 topics related to wisdom, human conduct, character, human nature. That theme is very common. Now we will talk about basically all the 10 themes that I have identified. First, I will give you common framework on how to approach to essay writing. The structure, it should be like, first of all, you can talk about is when we are decoding the topic in rough, we should be decoding the topic, understand it, identify the key terms in it. Like first topic, we identified 3 key terms: good leader, follows the followers. Okay, so this is the way we should try to understand the key terms, note the scope and dimensions, clarify what is asked and what is not. Okay, so here understanding and deciding which topic you are going to attempt. Then we can talk about is thesis statement. After introduction, you write the thesis statement, central argument, and we should have stand clear about it. Your thesis is the backbone of essay, because throughout the body part you are going to justify that thesis. Okay, that's why you should be very careful in writing that. Then we can talk about dimensions of main body. So several dimensions you will have, the vertical and horizontal dimensions I am talking. Horizontal dimension you will link to different aspects of, we can say that historical, geographical, technological, or we can say that geography, environmental, international relations, or we can cultural and historical already we talked about, right? Socio-cultural, all those are basically dimensions. And if you talk about vertically at individual level, at societal level, then at we can say that the regional level, or we can talk about governance level, administration level, corporate governance level, private sector, and national and international level. So vertical aspect is also involved. At community level, we already talked, right? The examples and evidence in support of those dimensions and arguments. So examples and dimensions should be written in support. There should not be flooding of information, data, and facts. You should be giving that to validate your arguments, not in isolation. Then it is not going to help otherwise. Then counter view and other side, antithesis, if it is there, don't bring it forcefully. अगर है तो ही बताइए, otherwise don't bring counter thesis or antithesis. Okay, then we can talk about the synthesis as a way forward. We can say that thesis, antithesis, and synthesis, you bring the way forward and then conclude the essay. Then you can have expanding your analysis across the levels, like I already talked about this. Okay, individual, society, and world. Also time wise, past, present, and future, that can be also brought, especially in philosophical topics, abstract topics. Try to open up in this manner. This is the common framework that we should follow. Now the 10 themes, I'm going to basically attach this particular video, this document, PDF document in the comment box. You can download all these notes also. This is going to be a basic study material for all of you. Look at the theme. Okay, I have added in that theme all the PYQs, recent PYQs, so that you get the idea. Okay, so how questions are being asked, topics are being asked. Then the key sub themes within that, like ethics, values, and morality. They will ask about truth and integrity, power, greed, and corruption. Means versus ends. Then justice, fairness, or duty, responsibility, character, leadership, ethics in public and private relationship. There can be sub themes. Then same, how to approach an essay, same, decode, thesis, dimension, example. Within that, for this particular theme, we have added here. You can, let's say, use framework for body, individual, family level, or use the thinkers, relevant thinkers, or we can say that personalities, references, and avoiding common mistakes for this particular theme. So we have identified 10 themes. One is ethics, values, and morality. Then second is courage, character, and human nature. Almost every year you can relate all these 8 essays and fit them in all these 10 themes for sure. Okay, so courage, character, and human nature is there. Then third is success, happiness, failure, meaningful life. Right, meaningful life, it is relevant again. Then we can talk about knowledge, truth, wisdom, the quest for human understanding, or we can say overall understanding. So again, we can say that similar. Then change, time, perception, and human experience. We talked about that bud and thorn wala essay. Change, time, human experience. Whatever human experiences, it is going to affect that person later in the life. This is what we are talking here. Then we can talk about is society, justice, inequality. We just now talked about, let's say, how that the bud is converted into thorn because of injustice, inequality that is being done in the society. Then only it becomes thorn. Otherwise, it is not born as a thorn, it is born as a bud. Okay, so then we can talk about women, gender, empowerment. Every year almost, or this year they didn't ask direct question, but last year, before that also, women related, empowerment related, or gender inequality related topics have been asked. Then 8th theme is science, technology, AI, and humanity. So they will ask topics on social media, like last year they asked FOMO, fear of missing out, and its impact on youth, young generation. That's why they will ask, like social media is triggering FOMO among the youth, precipitating depression and loneliness. This is the way they asked in the past also. Any major technological change that is happening, so they will ask AI is the pending topic in essay, so next year they may ask. Then ninth one, development, sustainability and environment related. So environment related they will ask, most of the time we can say that essay. Last year also they asked about forest and civilization, desert and all related topic. Before that also forest related they asked. This year nature and human spirit, we can say they asked, and kind of analogical relation. And lastly, education, learning and knowledge. So again we can say education related they used to ask past, that's why 10th रखा है. Recent में एक दो ही topic आए हुए हैं, but still you can use that in your essay while writing. Knowledge related topic is there, human character related topic is there, or happiness related topic is there. Whatever the philosophical things that we learn in ethics paper, you can bring all of them in all these 10 themes to make it more philosophical. Try to write the quotes at appropriate, we can say that, places, the data facts at appropriate places, and we can say references to personalities, leaders, great personalities, reformers, and we can say that their contribution. So that becomes more, we can say that, philosophical essay and not GS type of essay. So the detailed explanations of all these topics and the model answers will be subsequently providing that. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow, their GS 1, 2, 3, 4 papers are there. Similarly, we will have the live discussion on the same day for all these subjects also, giving you the first review about all those papers and their difficulty level. So looking at the overall aspect of this year's essay paper, out of these 4 topics, if we see the in the section wise, it was easier to choose among those 4 topics. ठीक है, दो टॉपिक्स तो ऐसे भी एलिमिनेट कर सकते हैं हम, और यहाँ पर जो है लीडर्स से रिलेटेड या फिर नेचर से रिलेटेड टॉपिक चूज कर सकते हैं. यहाँ पे ऑक्सीमोरॉन्स से रिलेटेड या फिर वो बर्ड और थॉर्न वाला टॉपिक है. इट वाज easier one. You can tell me which topic you would have chosen if you would have written this year's mains examination or already written mains examination, and why reason, so that other students and your, let's say, competitors, they can also understand why we should choose that particular topic. Okay, thank you everyone, and the PDF is going to be there in the comment box, so you can download it from there. Thank you.